Hello, Starshine. My name is Liz and this is my channel, Simsational Stories. If you have not seen my videos before and you enjoy this one, please like and subscribe, and maybe check out my other social media as well. I'm on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. All relevant links are in the description below. Finally, before I begin my Simsational story, I'd like to issue this blanket content and trigger warning. The following story is just Sims, hey. I'm not going to apologise for treating them terribly, if that's what I've done. But I do want to assure you now that although I mean absolutely no harm, I completely understand if you feel unable to consume my content. Many loves, and we will catch each other on the internet elsewhere. Okay, so now I've gotten that over with. Let's go. Today's story is from the Commune of Ohana, Hale, and we're at chapter 8. If you have not seen previous chapters and would like to catch up, there are playlists available on my channel so you can hear the entire story in chronological order. The rest of us are going to move on from where we left off last time though, so without further ado. Alianna Levesque had been born on and grown up living in the picturesque island commune of Ohana, Hale. Her parents, Jaquan and Floria, were Sulani natives who had joined their friend Lucas Pointer in his quest to carve out a tiny piece of Sulani to save from the rampant tourism industry that had, in those days, only just begun to take over their home. Together, the three had campaigned against the encroaching twin threats of tourism and pollution. It hadn't always been easy. In fact, it had been an absolute nightmare at times. But throughout the years, Ohana Hale and its members had been instrumental in the protection of Sulani's delicate ecosystem. They had taken samples, identified endangered species, and fought to implement laws that would protect the iconic beauty of their home. They were only young when they had their daughter, but Jaquan and Floria put their all into parenting, and it didn't take long for them to find their rhythm. Floria was a natural nurturer who took to motherhood like a duck to water, and Jaquan found himself moved beyond all measure by the sight of his beautiful wife holding their baby in her arms, and revelled in sharing the journey with her. He would get up with her for every midnight bottle and nappy change, and then sing them all back to sleep. Thus, Alianna had grown up on Ohana Hale, surrounded by love, affection, creativity, and conservation. Lucas's partner Nina had moved to the commune when she was still quite small, and, along with her son and grandson, they had filled the place of extended family for the small girl. And although Alianna had never thought about it much, her childhood really was rather unusual. Not only had she grown up on the first and only hippie commune of Sulani, but Alianna Levesque was the daughter of a Mersim. Her father, Jaquan, was born in the ocean to two real-life mermaids and had only come to live on land after having fallen in love with her mother, Floria. Jaquan now worked part-time as a lifeguard, and his daughter had inherited his love for the ocean. But would she inherit his fins too? Only time would tell. How much time, though? Winterfest rolled around once more, and Alianna received her presents from Father Winter as her family watched from around the bonfire, and she couldn't help but wish that she could get some clarity on her future, rather than yet another new doll. She was just so impatient. What would it be like, growing up? She almost felt like a kettle about to boil over with frustration. However, it wasn't frustration that she ended up boiling over with. Alianna had been feeling something all the day before and all night long, tossing and turning in her tent as if she was a snake. She just couldn't get comfortable. Finally, as dawn broke, she gave up on sleep and rose to walk inside the communal kitchen hut, only to suddenly feel it fizz up out of her. What was going on? Alianna didn't know. She couldn't understand it. This was nothing like what her father had described the transition from Sim to Mersim as being like. This had to be something else. Quite what? Alianna had no idea. But it wasn't bad. It couldn't be. This strange blue glow that had come to hover over her. It felt wonderful. She felt herself surrounded by good energy, by love and happiness, and she instinctively breathed that feeling in deep. The blue glow began to fade almost as quickly as it had come, but it left behind an overwhelming aura of connection and confidence Alianna couldn't quite describe. She didn't need to, though. Upon confessing the strange occurrence to her parents, Alianna was shocked to find that her mother was unsurprised. For Floria had been keeping a whole secret world from her daughter, and her father had known. This whole time, her whole entire life, Alianna had always known that it was her father, Jaquan, who was magical and special. He was a Mersim, and she might be too. But her mother Floria was just that, her plain old mother. Right? Wrong. Floria Levesque had grown up on the Solani Islands. She and her family had been there for countless generations, and that connection to country was strong within her. It was one of the many reasons why she had felt so drawn to Lucas and his commune. The peaceful island life they had built and protected from society helped her to stay connected to the spirits of the island that already sung deep within her soul. Floria's connection to the spirits of Solani ran in the family. According to her own mother, their ancestors had once been spirits who had shifted over to human form, yet retained their link to the otherworldly. Floria had never told her daughter about any of this because, to be perfectly honest, she'd feared that her daughter would crave the magic, like she craved to become a Mersim, and it just wasn't meant to be like that. Sulani's island spirits were connected to the Mersims, of course. That was part of what made Jaquan and Floria's relationship so strong. But it was also different. Jaquan listened carefully as his wife explained to Alianna that she was more like a conduit than a controller of the island's power. She could channel it, help shape things a little maybe, if the gods agreed. But she could never truly be in charge of it. Floria told her daughter ancient tales of people who had tried to use the island's power for themselves. The results had been disastrous and yet bountiful. Their myths said that half of the Solani Islands had been created through volcanic eruptions caused by the build-up of resentful spirits sick of having their will denied and misdirected to selfish human wants. Alianna had to understand that she had power, yes, but that power came at a cost and with responsibilities attached. To her parents' great relief, Alianna took her new responsibility and power very seriously. Discovering her island magic felt like a piece of the puzzle of who she was had finally fallen into place. She now knew why she'd always felt so attuned to her home, why the gusts of ocean wind seemed to whisper to her, and how come her heart had sung with so much joy after Lucas had bequeathed his commune to her. That had been the spirits speaking to her. Now that Alianna knew about her heritage, she was taken into the practical aspects of it that had always gone on secretly in the background of Ohana Hale. Lucas's wife Nina was a spellcaster technically, but over the years she had learnt how to channel her power along with Floria, and the two of them, now 3, would often perform small rituals, good luck spells and cleansing ceremonies in the evenings after the others had gone to bed. Floria also continued to teach Ali Sulanese history and myths. There was much the young girl did not know, or had never truly noticed, such as the regular turtle hatching, which most tourists just enjoyed watching, being connected to the spirits and moon. It was a delight to Floria to finally be able to connect with her daughter like this. Alianna had never felt so attuned to and at peace within herself. She had spent so much time in her childhood impatiently looking ahead and waiting for the next step, only to find herself tumbling down an unknown path that had obviously been her true destiny all along. Whether she was a Mersim or regular Sim didn't really matter to her anymore. And that brings us to the end of Chapter 8 of The Commune of Ohana, Hale. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can tune in soon to hear the next chapter. If you're a Sims player too and you'd like to download any of my characters to play for yourself, just search the hashtag Simsational Stories on the Sims 4 gallery. All original content is created by This Is Not Eric. And hey, maybe think about sharing my channel with a friend. Or don't. It's your life. Anyway, bye.